He did the interview.
Oh yeah, he did and he also did an interview with, is it Good Morning America at fucking George Stephanopoulos? This one I honestly found funnier because you guys got to see.
So we're gonna.
There's a couple moments where SBF fully has to reboot his system after he gets asked the question, and I've never seen anything.
I have thoughts. Let's play this.
So there's
clip.
a couple clips here.
ABC News reached out to Carolyn Ellison for comment, but has not heard back.
One of the reasons FTX went bankrupt is because FTX deposits were used to pay Alameda's creditors. Carolyn Ellison said you knew about that. Is that true?
You know, best I can tell, Alameda did have a big position open on FTX. That position, I think, was very over collateralized a year ago. There was a total market collapse, and specifically a large correlated collapse in its assets, over the last month, and to some extent over the last year, that threatened that position quite a bit. And I think that's as best I understand, a lot of what happened there.
Okay, pause
I
it.
am no cryptocurrency expert.
So he basically was just saying that Alameda had some over-collateralized, aka they borrowed too much money. They were on margin, on credit. They had these positions that were too big, and then when the market collapsed, those positions went belly up.
But that was not his question.
Right.
That was not the question.
I'm no finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question. I was asking, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
Okay. Wait.
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors.
Pause it, please.
Are you?
I believe him, actually. I think that this kid was in over his head in such a way that it's astounding he was given the amount of trust that he was given. He was overseeing so many billions of dollars across so many different accounts, and when his little girlfriend called him up and said, "I need money," he just, without thinking, sent it to her, not knowing that it was explicitly being used to pay back their creditors. He probably thought, "Oh, she needs some funds for a margin call that she's, maybe going to get."
But why is he being so careful? Why does he do a full?
Also,
Dude,
it is very funny how they turned up this mic sensitivity so you could hear his dumb little mouth
My man
sounds.
is talking to himself. Going, FTX.
By the way, his voice.
If you didn't do what he say, no, I didn't know, and then explain that.
Well, he is. He's saying, "I didn't know that they were being used for paying back the creditors." Continue.
But he's hiding something.
Which creditors are you referring to?
Carolyn Ellison said that you all knew that these funds were put into Alameda. They were the funds
Carolyn's such a rat.
owned by your
everybody
depositors.
knew. Yeah, you fucker.
So I can't speak for who knew what. A lot of the customers on FTX did have, borrows either, in dollars or Bitcoin or euros.
But as you know, the FTX terms of service tell the people who signed up, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall be or may be loaned to FTX trading. But you're saying that happened.
My understanding is a few things happen. The first is there is a margin trading facility on FTX by which users can lend out funds, by which other users borrow funds.
Right.
And so there are explicit cases where there is, margin extended, where there is borrow lending.
If Alameda is borrowing the money that belongs to FTX depositors, that's a bright red line, isn't it?
There are a lot of cases where that's actually explicitly part of the
George
programs
comes with receipts.
And
Great.
that are
But
happening.
not
and
here.
people are
Here it
all-
says that the digital assets may not be loaned to FTX trading.
They didn't.
can't
They
be
got
loaned
loaned to
out.
Alameda.
There existed a borrow lending facility on FTX. And I think that's probably covered, I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere else in the terms of service.
But they'd have to approve of that. They're saying they didn't approve of it here. They're saying you approved of it.
If you rewind to the beginning of FTX, where
This man needs some water.
some customers were
Also, why are his lawyers not running and
I
going,
think-
we're done here. We're actually all good.
I think basically the terms of service say that the funds cannot be used for FTX trading. So his clever little loophole was, well, yeah, I'm going to loan it out to my girlfriend at Alameda. Which
But then George is saying that it also says without their approval.
Okay.
And I guess SBF was the only one who was approving it.
By the way, Sam Bankman-Fried, his look and his voice, this guy's either got a massive hog or a little winky that looks just like him.
Why?
Just because that's the way it works with guys who look and sound like that.
Okay.
He's either got a forearm penis.
So I'm guessing you've seen a lot of guys who look like this as penises.
That's not what I meant.
That's just the implication I'm getting.
That is true. I see what I've done with myself here. I've seen penis. I've seen a lot of penis. I don't think that I've seen that many penises, but I just am going off of just a gut instinct by looking at him.
I know, but you didn't answer my question. It was, how do you know that that's what those penises look like?
Penises look like. Again, I don't really know. It's just a guess. So the terms of service at the gym say that other people could be looking at your naked body. So,
but with their approval, you can look at their penises in the locker room.
Right. Yes. Next question. What other parts from this?
We got to get the fucking Mark Cuban one.
I knew that legal was involved. I knew that other groups at the company were involved, that, there were agreements drafted up.
But you're ultimately responsible.
And ultimately, absolutely, I should have been on top of this, and I feel really, really bad and regretful that I wasn't.
Yeah, he fucked up.
A lot of people got hurt, and that's on me.
Here's what Mark Cuban has to say about that.
Yep.
He said, if I were him, I'd be afraid of going to jail for a long time.
At the end of the day, it's not my call what happens, and the world will judge me as it will.
Are you worried about going to jail?
Please don't
There are
ask.
a lot of things that are worrying me right now. And, as best as possible, I'm trying to focus on what I can do going forward to be helpful and, let whatever, regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
I do want to move on, but just finally on this. This is really a yes or no question.
Yep.
Carolyn Ellison says you knew that FTX funds were being funneled to Alameda. Did you know that?
I knew that there is an open margin position there and that involved.
I know, but that's not what I'm
$1.
asking. If she's in court and you're in court and she's under oath and you're under oath and you're asked, did you know that these funds were being funneled to Alameda, what is your answer?
What is my answer?
I did not know that there is any improper use of customer funds.
He's like, what am I going to say in court? Am I going to lie? Am I going to lie or tell the truth in court?
I even if he is fully guilty and all that stuff, I just feel bad. I feel bad for anybody going through.
Oh, it's like,
it's
when
awful. I put myself in his shoes and it's just, God.
When someone does something and you're like, I'm going to confront them. That was fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you do, and they start crying and you're like, this sucks. This is not.
Yeah, that happens to me when they catch me looking at their penis and they're like, why are you looking at my penis in the gym? And I start crying and I didn't the terms of service of the gym.
Right.
Okay, I don't know. Sorry, that was a bad bit.
Yeah, it was okay. It's kind of like
I was trying to call back.
Sure. The thing that just happened.